I have some new products today, everyone. Yes, on my face. I have new foundation, new contour, new blush, new lipstick, new powder, and the new shade from Sarah Creal. Welcome back, everybody. You know, I've been spending a lot of time on new collections from Chanel and Dior and Hermes, and I mean, the list goes on. And of course, the new Marc Jacobs, which is my favorite. I also have a lot of new products that are absolutely excellent that don't fit into necessarily like one collection, but I feel like they are really good and I need to share. So first, during the NARS sale that I talked to you all about, I picked up a new foundation. For me, a new foundation. This is the Light Reflecting Foundation, and the shade is 1.75, I think it's Gion, G-I-O-N. My understanding is this shade is only available online. This shade is perfect for me. And I thought it might be, this is my makeup artist mind going into full mode here. When I started to look at the description online, I was like, oh, okay, I think that's me. Because the problem I always have with NARS is that it's too yellow. It's always too yellow for me. Well, I shouldn't say always. It's often too yellow for me. But this shade, as you can see, it's blending into my skin right here, was described as peach. And it was also described as a light cool, but it was something that had like a little bit of a different undertone than what they usually describe as cool. And I thought to myself, you know, if anything is gonna work, it's gonna be this. And I think it does. I think it works extremely well. So that in and of itself is a win for me, because when you pick a shade online and it actually works for you, it's amazing. The other thing is that it does look really nice on the skin. It gives more coverage. So if you're looking for a little bit more coverage than I usually do like a skin tint or something, but you get radiance and it does look really nice. I think it feels very comfortable. I'm just looking to see about how they describe it. Light reflecting foundation. One of the things NARS is really good at is the similar thing that Hourglass is good at, which is with the powders, that light refracts or reflects from the product, which makes your skin look more blurred and more radiant, which I think this does because I have no highlighters on today. Good for dry skin, probably good for oily skin, maybe not super oily. I can't really assess that, but the feel of it, I wouldn't say is like super emollient or anything. It's more skin-like. Second is, I picked up from NARS, is a new shade of blush, at least a new shade of blush for me. And this is Tempted. And this is a very, very light shade. Let's put it right here. But it's got, it's very peachy. It's got a fantastic, you see that? Yes, yes. It's almost like a highlighter. I think on some people it would be a highlighter. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I love their blush. I've been using NARS blush for forever. My first NARS blush was the shade Orgasm, yes, like everybody else. But this one I really like. Tempted is a beautiful, light reflecting, it's just a highlighting blush. But it didn't accentuate texture. Looks fantastic on. No notes. I also have on is a shade called High Gear Afterglow Sensual Shine Lipstick. Love it, love it. No, it's really nice. Again, I went with all kinds of peach shades today. It's a really nice, shiny, balmy lipstick. All of this was on like super sale, so I was very excited to pick them up. I like NARS products. I don't talk about them enough, I don't think. Again, NARS is a brand that was super popular when I was in my 20s and 30s, and I did have a lot of NARS products at the time, and over the years there's certain NARS products that I would consider somewhat holy grail. I love their bronzer, Laguna bronzer. I actually love the blush. They did change it. They took out the talc. I never liked their foundation. This is the first foundation that I've used from NARS that's actually worked, so very impressed with that. We'll have to see how I, use it over the next couple weeks and months and if it becomes a favorite, but so far I really like it. The last thing I picked up from NARS is pressed powder. Now, this pressed powder the shade is called Aurora. It's a light reflecting prismatic powder, pressed powder. So I want to try this against the new Guerlain Meteorites pressed powder. It looks to me like a powder that I used to have by NARS, which was just white. And I used it all the time and loved it. And actually used it all up. It's one of the few powders I used up. And the only problem with it is that it used to have that flashback thing, you know, where you'd take a picture and you'd be like, oh, that's white under your eyes. So we'll see how this works, and I'll do a comparison with this and the Guerlain when I get it. But I would say the NARS powders have always been very good, and I think this one is no different. You can see the difference between the two sides of my face just by that slight dusting of powder. So, you know, I want to play around with it a little bit more, but so far, everything I picked up from NARS has worked out extremely well. So I'm very pleased. I'm also using some Milk products today. That Milk is one of those brands that I know it's not luxury, but it's actually a great brand. There's a lot of good stuff by Milk. One of the things that I like most by Milk are their little sticks. And I like their little sticks, they call them little sticks because they're little, is for travel. These are great. I'm actually traveling this week and I will have things up on social media to tell you what I'm doing. But these are gonna be great for that trip because this is a contour stick. This is in Smolder and it's a really nice grayish, what's the word I'm looking for? It's good for people like myself that are, you know, pale and need that like mushroom shade. It reminds me a lot of the Westman shade. See how like literally like how mushrooming it is. There's the blush in Work, W-E-R-K, which again, great shade. And then the jelly. I like the jelly because the jellies are fun. And the thing about the jellies, at first I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like that. But what these are great for is like the summer look because they're super wet and, you know, they're jelly. And they look like they're just gonna be like, you know, not like you never use them, but actually these are great because what it is this very wet, you know, jelly-like application. It feels soothing. So if it's hot out, it's fantastic. And then it just like becomes one with your skin. You know, it just like, see, it's just, I mean, it's just there. It just sort of sinks in and it gives this really nice, glowy, summery look. And these jellies were very popular for a while. Like everybody had them and they were sold out in every color. I would suggest that if you are, you know, looking at products like the water-based products from Chanel, and you didn't really love those because they were kind of patchy on you or whatever, but you like the idea of it sort of sinking into the skin, you should take a look at these. Again, price point is much better. It's this jelly look. It feels really comfortable. It's like a wet thing, and you just put it on, and it literally melds with your skin. The shade that I have is Fizz. Yes, Fizz. So it's very summery, but I really like it. Laura Mercier sent me green powder forever ago. And I have yet to show you what this looks like. Now, I think we need to do a side-by-side with the Prada powder so you can see it in all its glory, which I will do. But I wanted to first give you sort of a recap of some of these because I've had these things for a while and I get questions about them and sometimes I just don't have time to, you know, talk about them in any great detail. There's a big powder puff that comes with this and I'm not gonna actually use that. I'm actually gonna use my brush. So first of all, it's a loose powder, right? Comes like this. So we're gonna put it on this side of the face. The thing about a green powder, as long as you don't overdo it, you can overdo it and you can look like a little green, is that if you're like me and you have redness to your skin, it can definitely tone that down. I think you can see between the two sides of my face that this looks more neutral. This side of the face still looks a little bit more pink. And I do have pink to my skin. Most of it's rosacea, but the green works very, very well. It's a beautiful powder. It's very smooth, very finely milled. It feels very comfortable on the skin. The difference between it and the Prada at the moment, the only difference that I'll do a side-by-side, that I can really ascertain though, is that one is pressed and one is loose. And it's just a different feel. The loose powder feels lighter and it feels like you can use it in a more soft way. The Prada is a little heavier. It's not a heavy powder, but you know, even if you're using a brush, you're brushing on a solid product versus a loose powder that tends to be airier. So I also think sometimes people just like a loose powder versus, you know, pressed powder you can carry in your purse kind of thing. I really like this product. I have said many times, Laura Mercier is a great brand. I know it's not sexy, but Laura Mercier makes really good products. They make excellent blushes, they make excellent skin tints, they make excellent powder, and I have their new blush. I have it in rose. Love that blush. Like, it's a great blush. And if you want more details on that, that was a new blush that came out like 2 months ago. I'm happy to do that as well. So I would take a look at the Laura Mercier brand. Again, much more reasonable price point and excellent, just really good quality products. Packaging is not sexy, you know, it tends not to be. This is plastic. It's not glass. It doesn't have cool names like Marc Jacobs. The packaging is definitely less interesting, but just good quality products. It's like, you know, if you have that restaurant that you go to that isn't fancy in any way, and you know, everything comes in like a plastic basket, but it's just good food. That's Laura Mercier. Last but not least, I have the new shade by Sarah Creal. Have it on my eyes now, and this is the shade here. So the shade name is, what is the shade name? Gray Area. Now I think, yes, it's gray, but I actually think it's more, it's gray, but it has this taupey gray, a very deep, almost cement taupey gray. I'm going to compare it against lots of other liners so I can get like a good comparison for you, but it's not a steel gray, it's not a light gray, it's not a dove gray, it's not a blue gray, it's a taupey, mushroomy, deep gray. Sarah Creal makes some of the best liners. I've said this many times. Her liners are super soft, easy to do, you know, easy to use, easy to smudge out. You can blend them. They stay on once you put them on. This is going to be a great option for you guys if you don't want black, but you want something that, I mean, look at that. Like, it's, you know, it packs a punch. There's definite, like, it's dark. It's a dark shade, but it's not black. So it's got some coolness to it. Like I said, the mushroom kind of thing to it. It's definitely going to give you definition. It's definitely going to give you like that pop, but it's not going to be as harsh as black can be, especially on like a very pale skin tone. Now, I just deepened it up. The way that I originally applied it is I lined it and then I took the brush on the end and like, you know, smudged it out so it wouldn't be as deep. So I would just say, like, this shade is a great shade. Sarah Creal always comes up with really some interesting shades. This one, I don't think I have anything exactly like it, but I will be going through my liners to take a look. If there are specific liners you want to see compared to it specifically, or any of the products that I've talked about today, let me know. I'm happy to do that. Did you pick up anything during the NARS sale? If you did, what did you pick up? Have you tried this foundation? Had you heard about the shade? Honestly, guys, I think it's fun. I finally found the shade for me and I did it online, which is amazing. Sarah Creal, the new liner, is available at Sephora now. Laura Mercier, Milk, all of this actually should be available at Sephora and other retailers. I think that's it for today. So thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.